Spring has sprung, the action is on, and things are heating up. Welcome to Equinox, the first CIW show of the spring. I am the Sentinel, and we kick things off with intense singles action between Mortal Kombat ninjas. It is Rain going one-on-one with Scorpion, with Ermac in Rain's corner and Sub-Zero in Scorpion's corner. We found out that Sub-Zero and Scorpion were a faction or a tag team back at the WrestleBration when Rain, Scorpion, and Rain, Sub-Zero, and Ermac were in a triple threat match at the WrestleBration as Cold Rain and Souls completely dissolved. And Ermac and Rain ultimately resolved their issues, but during that match, Sub-Zero pulled Rain and threw him all the way down to the end of the ramp where Scorpion was waiting. And Scorpion ended up chokeslamming Rain 5 times on the ramp, and Rain was unable to return to the match. Scorpion came down ringside, attacked Ermac, and Sub-Zero gained the win. And now we know that Sub-Zero and Scorpion are a team now known as the Franchise, as they believe that they deserve all of the recognition and title shots because they are the face of the franchise, both in CIW, which isn't really true, and in Mortal Kombat, which you can actually make something of a case for. But they wanted it to translate it like they were going to get special treatment, and that's just not the way it was going to go down. And the fact that Sub-Zero abandoned Ermac and Rain, who were just trying to figure out, I mean, losing to the SPD Rangers definitely hurt the egos of all three men, but Ermac stabilized, I think Rain stabilized, but Sub-Zero, you know, he's petty, he can't let things go, and he had decided that he was, you know, being held back, I guess, by Ermac and Rain. Of course, Sub-Zero, a former 2-time Exceeds champion in his own right, and Scorpion nearly won the Exceeds championship against Ken Masters not too long ago. But this is a whole different kettle of fish as Scorpion looks to beat Rain, and Rain looking to advance his singles career if he can with a huge shot in the arm win against Scorpion, which would do wonders for his career. He has not really been able to put anything in singles action. Here we go, referee Brad Sherwood here on this night. We've got a big 4-match card waiting us, and now, of course, both Ermac and Sub-Zero anxiously watching on. And if this does spill to the, oh, and a low blow from Scorpion, message sent. And folks, if this spills out to the outside, Colonial Impact Wrestling CEO Michael Corleone's rules are that outside interference is allowed from Sub-Zero. Oh God, and a choke slam to the outside. And I think Sub-Zero might have been caught in the crossfire there. But now Rain on the wrong side of dodge, but oh my God, and just the aggression of Scorpion just choking down Rain as Sub-Zero able to attack Rain here. If they spill to the outside, they just can't use weapons or attack in the center of the ring because that will cause a disqualification. But I'm not so sure that any of these 4 ninjas with the animosity between them are going to be able to keep it civil here tonight. But we've got a lot of major matchups coming up, and now Ermac getting into the ring, Sub-Zero getting into the ring, just running the ropes. Now Rain and Scorpion, this has just been a battle of fisticuffs so far, as this isn't going to be a wrist lock and headlock kind of matchup, folks. This is going to be downright brawls, and Rain now just slapping the chest of Scorpion. As now Sub-Zero just egging Ermac on. You know, there's still animosity, some bad beef between them, and nobody likes bad beef. You know, stays out a week past its welcome. And now Brad getting vaulted and now forcing him to run the ropes is Scorpion, as Brad's got to be careful. You know, there's a lot of opportunities for errant shots to be thrown Brad Sherwood's way. And now a cover from Rain here, and not even a 1 count. As folks, we've got a lot coming up here tonight. We've got the SPD Rangers taking on the Keanu Konnection with no interference allowed from any member of either faction. So we're trying to get the tag match that we should have had back before the WrestleBration. We're also going to have Past Gen Wrestling's world title number 1 contenders gauntlet, 4 men, 1 number 1 contender to Arthur Morgan's PGW world title. All the 2 confirmed participants we have are Chris Van Vliet and Mark Zuckerberg, but 2 others to come in as well, so stay tuned for that. And of course, our main event, the #1 contender for Colonial Impact Wrestling's World Championship that Majin Buu holds. Bully Maguire goes one-on-one with the TAW champion and the winner of the Battalion Brawl, Liu Kang, in our main event tonight, and a low blow from Scorpion changes the momentum again in favor of the franchise, or one half of the franchise, as it were. Punch to the dick. As Abizzle would say, it's all about sending a message. And speaking of commentary partners, we will see JOSHAGEDDON in our main event tonight to cover the Spiderman and Liu Kang matchup, considering that he is the TAW representative. As we've got Past Gen Wrestling's matchup, and oh god, and went for an elbow drop, and Scorpion got the knees up and telegraphed it, and is giving him a series of right hands for his trouble. Make it 10. Straight to the dome, as this has been all brawls to start. I make that 15, as we're just seeing straight right hands from Scorpion, the master of the Netherrealm DDT. And Rain, of course, got the Rainbringer, which he has used on a number of occasions, sometimes to the success of the former faction Cold Rain and Souls. That elbow drop connected to the outside. And now taking the tech table off, as that's where we store a lot of the tech equipment. But thankfully, this tech equipment is not connected to the audio or the camera now. And now a sweeping DDT. It's actually more for the, we do it for the stuff in the arena, not necessarily for the commentary booth. That's all near us, or near me at this point. When JOSHAGEDDON joins the booth, it'll be that way. But it is all brawls here on the outside. Referee's count broken up by, I believe, Scorpion it was, as this has just been all fights, as a spectrum of color palette ninjas are just going after each other, as this has been the story that we have seen from the very beginning as far as these guys are concerned, since they've all set foot in CIW. And interestingly enough, actually, Scorpion and Sub-Zero came into CIW together way back in the day, back when there was the Jack Nation Red show back in 2015, as these came in with a trio with Reptile that had a very, very limited amount of success before Jack 7 pulled all the money, and, you know, CIW had to take that unfortunate hiatus. But, of course, we have rebounded in a resounding way, to the point where we are getting collaborations with our good friends at Past Gen Wrestling, who have done a tremendous job with Arthur Morgan as champion, who's been a fighting champion as well. And stay tuned for who he's going to face, or later on tonight. He's not wrestling tonight, but we'll find out a #1 contender to him, so you have to imagine he's watching. And now just right hands from Rain, as the brawls are being reciprocated here by this Mortal Kombat contingent. And it just makes you wonder if all of these ninjas could have just found a way to continue to collaborate and to work with each other so peacefully. You know, oh, and a right hand, down goes Rain. As, Scorpion now going up to the top rope himself, and a forearm dodged by Rain, as it almost looked, and Rain is now starting to feel the effects. I'm pretty sure we missed or glazed over him getting a Netherrealm DDT, something that he somewhat reciprocated right there against Scorpion, as Sub-Zero far missed his trajectory and just ran down the ramp, and is gonna have to collect himself here, as now Scorpion in between Rain and Souls, and I don't blame him. You know, Rain deserves a little bit of recognition. Who knows whether he would have won that triple threat or not at the WrestleBration, but he shouldn't have had his opportunity taken away by Scorpion, because he feels butthurt that he's not getting recognized as a more important deal in CIW than he feels he is in Mortal Kombat. And that's been the thing from the get-go. I'm sad that Scorpion had to end up like this. We've seen it from Sub-Zero for so long, it's not a surprise from him. But Scorpion, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It didn't have to be like this. And a Luthes press from Rain, just raining down some right hands. As boy, what a coup this would be for Rain to beat Scorpion here to open up Equinox. And now vaulted over the top again by Scorpion. And what Scorpion got planned here, Brad Sherwood looking on. And folks, thankfully he stayed out of it, and again went for a forearm, and again Rain saw it coming. And Rain obviously pretty adept at telegraphing precipitous maneuvers, and a pullover pile driver. As the alliteration is abundant here, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue this matchup here in our opening match of Equinox. And a low blow again, message sent. So 4 of these guys, you know, just this straight up attack. And ultimately, I have to imagine that Michael Corleone and the CIW Council of 6 are going to have no choice but to sign a tag match in for these 4 participants. But right now, the action is strictly between Scorpion and Rain, who have found a way to keep this count from ending in a count out. But all 4 of these guys, they are certainly taking the fight to each other here. It's been mostly brawls on the outside for the majority of the matchup, and what brawls haven't been taking place on the outside have certainly been taking place on the inside. Oh no. And now Rain bringing Scorpion. Where the hell are they going? Guys, the referee, Brad Sherwitz counts at 8, and I don't think they're going to make it back in time, but I'm not sure Rain even cares. And a low blow from Scorpion. This is going to end in a double count out. As these two clearly, I don't know if they knew what was going on there or what, but now we move on to our next match. And oh dear God! And I guess they didn't stop fighting at the sound of the bell. As now right into the bar area. Of course, it's right past Gorilla that this is going on. As Scorpion and Rain are now continuing to rage on as this brawl continues. The match ended in a no contest. And now slammed into the neon lights by Rain to Scorpion. Oh, good God! And I guess this isn't over. We're going to follow this action as long as we can, as I am afraid to know what it is that Sub-Zero just sprayed onto Ermac, who has children. He doesn't want to go to his children. No, his children will be hurt by the smell. And oh God, and Ermac's getting hurt by the roof of the hood of the car. That truck being just slammed onto the back and spine of Ermac. As this is just spilled out and deteriorated, this ninja fight has gone everywhere. Oh no! Oh no! And now the bar being used, but Rain able to counter it. As these 4 ninjas, it's Rain, it's Scorpion, and no! God damn! Too much is happening! Ermac's legs getting crushed in the limousine! And I appreciate our camera crew trying to capture as much of this action as possible. And oh God, Ermac's leg could be completely crushed. I think I just saw that the limousine window had been gone through. God, what did we miss? And now Sub-Zero has got Ermac. And what's he gonna do here? Oh no, not a big low blow. The most emphatic low blow you've ever seen. And oh no, until that one. Oh my God. Low blows abundant. Wait a second. Rainbringer onto Scorpion. God, and this just, and another one. Another Rainbringer onto Scorpion. My God, somebody get these people broken up here. We need to get some security in the back here. As you made your point, Rain. My God. Boy, I need to take a breath and a sip of water as this escalated so quickly. But now I'm getting told security is now separating the groups here. But now for an equally personal battle between the Keanu Konnection and the SPD Rangers. Now, this match was supposed to take place back at the WrestleBration Drummers Call, but unfortunately, Neo decided to attack both the Green Ranger and the Blue Ranger in the back, using the Matrix to basically phase shift from the parking lot into the bar to attack both members of the SPD Rangers until the Red Ranger came in on his own. And it was a 1-on-2 handicap match that amazingly the Red Ranger won. But I'm not as confident, ladies and gentlemen, I won't lie to you. I'm not as confident in their chances here now that they are both pissed and they cannot have anyone on the outside. Both men, so there's no assaults in the back. The Blue Ranger's healthy. The Green Ranger is actually going to be in a match in a couple of weeks' time, as the main event of Saturday Night Hype for April the 4th is going to be a 6-man elimination battle royal to determine the #1 contender to Ken Masters' Exceeds Championship. And the Green Ranger is going to be signed in for that matchup, so stay tuned for that. Here comes Neo, as Neo is the other half of the Keanu Konnection who did the dirty work, but certainly was not happy with the fact that the Red Ranger somehow found a way to beat both John Wick and Neo. But in a tag team setting, the Keanu Konnection have done a very good job in securing victories when it came to a full-blown tag setting. Can they recover from the humiliation of losing to the SPD, the Red Ranger Jack Landers, and come out and beat the tag team of the SPD Rangers? Because now they are pissed, and they are upset that they even have to be indulged into this matchup. But the SPD Rangers, you cannot deny the momentum that this man has garnered for this group since debuting essentially a year ago. As of 2 days from now, actually 2 days from next week, this Friday, March 26th of last year is when the Red Ranger debuted in a one-on-one match. And now the Red Ranger will have the opportunity to team up with the Blue Ranger here and get a huge win for the tag team of the SPD Rangers, as you have to imagine that the next step for them is Tag Team Championship Gold. They have slowly begun to change the fate and change the narrative around what the SPD Rangers are and signified when they won that major matchup against Cold Rain and Souls in the Soul Calibur Gauntlet last year. They have turned things around so much so that this Tag Team Championship opportunity, not that they are getting one here tonight, but if they win this match, either team, you have to imagine that's going to raise their ranks. And it's also interesting to note that both of these teams are also entered into the tag team tournament, the Mirror Force tournament that is going on Battle City. Of course, stay tuned next week for Battle City number 3, hosted by Maximilian Pegasus, the other brand. And what a big boot from John Wick to start this out. As folks, the Green Ranger, Black Cat, a member of the Keanu Konnection, all banned from ringside. As this is strictly a matchup between these two teams, no more, no less. Referee Brad Sherwood has got to keep his wits about him here in this match as well. And folks, if he does go down, there's only one thing you can do to make sure his medical bills are paid, and that is like, share, subscribe, comment, switch that bell button to all so you know every time we post, including the storyline shorts that predicate every single show, so you can hashtag save a referee today. And now a double shoulder tackle to the Red Ranger by John Wick, and Neo taking the fight to the Blue Ranger, Skylar. But so far, neither of these teams able to gain definitive position. Both of these teams, Keanu Konnection, are a fairly new springboard and hits everybody, does Neo, including his own partner. As the Keanu Konnection, one of the more recent teams to develop, kind of a subsection of the Shades of Black, but did not gain the rights to the name the Shades of Black. That honor went to a now, I guess, defunct team in Riddick and Agent 47, as we saw, as Riddick is now Majin Riddick, and we saw him take the fight to KRS-One, and Lord knows what Agent 47 thinks about that. But speaking of, we are hoping to see Agent 47 in the 6-man Elimination Exceeds Championship matchup on April the 4th, the next episode of Saturday Night Hype. So we'll see what Agent 47 is able to do in lieu of everything that's gone down with them. But the Keanu Konnection, they really could use a win here, as it has been kind of splitting the road between the Keanu Konnection, who dealt with the Sons of Lavos for the longest time, and the iteration between Magus and Strongbad, and a good tag maneuver there, and a punch to the dick, as both of these guys trying to work cohesively. Cover 1, 2, and only 2 as Jack Landers breaks it up on Skylar after a low blow pinfall attempt by John Wick, which is pretty part and parcel for what they've been doing since John Wick has come along, and it really is disappointing. You know, you'd think John Wick would want to be the honorable guy. You know, he's got a partnership deal with a dog grooming place down the street that CIW owns, and, you know, he's really been adding into the merchandising part of things. But at the same time, why he and Neo have decided that they need to take the shortcuts and they needed to go low in order to get there, and how much that's worked for Black Cat, as Black Cat is also coming up in not necessarily this coming episode of Battle City, but she's involved in the Ash Blossom tournament in Battle City as well. That's ongoing. That's going to actually, I believe, debut next week, if I'm not mistaken. Or a debut last week, I'm sorry, when Padme beat the Pink Ranger. And that's going to be ongoing, as now these just knees into the midsection of Skylar. And this has been smart by the Keanu Konnection to keep Skylar isolated. I think Jack Landers has been such a shot in the arm to the SPD Rangers that keeping him as uninvolved as possible is probably the best case scenario, knowing what the track record of the Rangers are without him. Cover again, 1, 2, and only 2 as a moonsault, an unnecessarily convoluted moonsault from Jack Landers breaks up the pin. Now Landers trying to get after Neo, the Blue Ranger not looking good, and a neck breaker from John Wick, as Brad Sherwood just trying to keep abreast of it all, and a drop kick by John Wick, the illegal man. And now Neo, looks like Neo's gonna go after the Red Ranger with a neck breaker of his own. As Neo and John Wick, the Keanu Konnection, who would love nothing more than to gain tag gold themselves, as this would be a punch to the dick, as now that once they formed and had their falling out with the Shades of Black, it's, you know, where do they go from here? And I think that they're kind of tired of dealing with all of these feuds and a punch to the dick themselves. But to be fair, they're the ones starting it. You know, Neo didn't have to bait up both Skylar and Bridge in the back with the Matrix. When we say no powers, he didn't have to do that. So I don't really know if I buy this, oh, we just want to compete, we just want to be our own tag team, when you're literally starting grudge fights with every team that you interact with. But maybe that's just me, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. As Blue Ranger, oh, I thought Blue Ranger was going to go for the tag there, and instead went for a little headbutt to the gut and a thumb to the eye. And that might have been a mistake, as Neo recovered immediately and knocks the Red Ranger off of the ropes. And maybe just to provoke him, I'm not sure. But now back into the corner of the Keanu Konnection. Oh, wait a second. What are the Keanu Konnection going to do here? And a doomsday device! Now that was impressive. Keanu Konnection now cover, center of the ring. 1 and only 1 as the Red Ranger breaks it up once again, saving the matchup for the Rangers. As this has been an intense match so far. Of course, we have a second half of this show still to come. 2 #1 contenders. Now, wait a second. Matrix onto the Blue Ranger, and I think that the Blue Ranger might have been busted open. As, yeah, you can see blood pouring from the mask. And oh no, not another Matrix. Another Matrix, but John Wick is the legal man. But that doesn't mean that, my word, the Blue Ranger is not looking good. He has been bloodied. He's taken 2 Matrix right onto the top of his head. John Wick is slamming the Red Ranger's head into the steel. As this is, the Keanu Konnection has really taken things into their own hands in this matchup. And now a half Boston Crab. And the Keanu Konnection have not been able to beat the Rangers. Oh no! Brad Sherwood is down! And folks, remember I mentioned the Save a Referee Fund earlier, as now he's gonna need your support more than ever, as now, what is going to happen here? And now, Neo getting into the ring, he's not the legal man. But now John Wick going to the outside and trying to attack the Red Ranger again, as thankfully no weapons were brought out, as that tends to happen when a referee goes down. A half Boston Crab again to the Blue Ranger with his knee right on the skull. And now slamming the skull. God, the cranial carnage happening to the SPD Rangers right now. And what is it going to take for the Rangers to rebound? This has been incredible strategy, not a third Matrix. Come on, man, a third Matrix to the Blue Ranger, a cover and too close to the ropes. Although that was kind of a brazen spot to go for a cover, considering it was right in the Ranger's corner. But now the Blue Ranger trying to mount some offense on John Wick. John Wick uses the silencer. Pretty emphatic move that gets the job done. Oh, and what a big back body drop there from John Wick. And right back into control is the Keanu Konnection. Of course, our 2 #1 contenders matches later on tonight. One for the Past Gen Wrestling World's Championship #1 contender spot. The other for the CIW Heavyweight Championship #1 contender spot. All here at Equinox. Tag into Neo. Cover 1, 2, and again, Jack Landers barely gets there, but breaks the count up. Oh, a nice trip there from the Red Ranger. As Neo and Skylar, the two legal men, thumb to the eye from Neo, as they have been able to keep the Blue Ranger out of this matchup, or keep the Blue Ranger in this matchup, the Red Ranger out of it, but now Neo thrown to the outside, and this might be the smartest thing Skylar's done. Well, it was. He should have stayed in the ring. I wouldn't have followed him. He really needed a breather and to get that tag, but instead maybe got a little overzealous, and he's going to pay for it again as the Keanu connection too smart, and a poison rod of pin is not going to work from the Red Ranger, as the Red Ranger is not the legal man, but he's got Neo tied up, and Lord, there were a lot of profanities being said from Jack Landers through that mask. You couldn't hear it from here, folks, but I saw the mouth area move, and another roll-up, and Sunset Flip's not going to do it. Jack's trying to win this match, but he still has not been tagged in, as the very bloody Blue Ranger is still the legal man. And I saw him drag there. But Red Ranger, he needs to get it to the corner so that Blue Ranger can make this tag. Top rope elbow, and Blue Ranger accidentally lured Neo out of the way, and Red Ranger off the mark, as this is just degenerated. Brad's got to get control of this matchup, man, as this has now gone a pretty considerable length of time, but the Rangers starting to mount a little more offense than they did before, a renewed vigor perhaps. But they need to get that tag. Jack needs to get tagged in, and they have not been able to do it. Oh, what a crossbody! Skylar lands a big crossbody, and it might be enough if he goes for a tag here, but again, with a half Boston Crab of his own. And boy, what a high angle half Boston Crab that the Blue Ranger is using on Neo. Is that going to be enough to get him to tap? And not on this occasion, as, oh, wait a second. Oh my God! Neo reversed it! Neo reversed it into a half Boston Crab of his own. What incredible technical counter by Neo, as that might be the most impressive thing I've ever seen Neo do. What a counter from half Boston Crab to half Boston Crab counter, as very well executed, and a big back suplex as the Keanu connection maintain, and a cover. Is it over? 1, 2, and only 2. Oh no! As I think that an errant foot, 1 foot broke up the count, and 1 foot accidentally hit Sherwood. As now the referee is down again, but I don't think that one was intentional. Silencer on the Skylar, choked by Neo as the Keanu connection do everything. Oh God, and now a Natrix on to the Red Ranger. God, just end it. The Keanu connection came to play, and they are certainly going to get a victory. I mean, I don't see how. As both of the Rangers are down, the Blue Ranger has lost a lot of blood. I mean, a lot of blood. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue to much longer. But now, and look at the Red Ranger now also holding his head, as he's taken an awful lot of punishment. 4 Matrix have been executed on this match. 3 to the Blue Ranger, 1 to the Red Ranger. Forearm too far from John Wick. And it's unlike John to miss the mark, but he certainly did on that occasion. But, oh God, we know where this is headed. John Wick getting that electrical cable, punch to the dick to Skylar, as the Keanu connection are now making the Rangers suffer. And this is what I was afraid was going to happen. Once the Red Ranger beat the Keanu connection, that these two are going to come out and just lay such insane amounts of punishment onto the Rangers because they couldn't get it done, they being the Keanu connection, and they were going to make the Rangers pay for it. But now, oh God, look at the bloody mask of the Blue Ranger as he's trying to dish out a little bit of what he has taken, as it is now a genital gerrymandering situation, testicular torture on the ropes. But how much does the Blue Ranger have left? You notice he couldn't do it for long. And he's still on the wrong side of dodge. Oh, and the Blue Ranger brings John Wick into the corner. He needs this tag, and he refuses to go for it. Why? But he's trying to get his bearings, but the Red Ranger, he's not looking too great now. You know, the urgency on the tag is probably lesser because the Red Ranger's taking a lot of punishment, even without being in this matchup. And the Blue Ranger now countering. A nice counter there into a knee bar. As John Wick, he's already used that silencer. as the Red Ranger is trying to get in to make some sort of help there, and now a rope break. Just, I think Neo might have pushed the lump of bodies to the ring ropes, and now this is all 4 men in the ring again, as who is going to win this major tag team matchup here at Equinox? As folks, we are only halfway there. We will take a little bit, a teeny tiny ad break in between this matchup and the Past Gen Wrestling match, and we will take another teeny tiny ad break at the end of the Past Gen Wrestling match into the main event, as JOSHAGEDDON will join us for aforementioned main event. And we will see all of that coming up a little bit later on tonight. We wish all of you a very happy spring as things start. What a back elbow! And the Blue Ranger with a, oh God, and a shoulder thrust, knocking both Rangers down. As the Blue Ranger leaving the ring, everybody leaving the ring, John Wick now starting to look pretty hurt. As the Rangers are still somehow in this matchup. No small feat thanks to Jack Landers breaking up the pin on a number of occasions. But it is still back and forth, thumb to the glasses of Neo. And now, wait a second, and now a sweeping DDT. And it now occurs to me that any shots to the eyes from any of these participants are not going to be very useful, considering that it's either masks or glasses, as the ocular obtuberances are not helping the case for eye pokes. And finally gets the tag to the Red Ranger. It happened so quickly, I barely got a chance to call it. And now John Wick in the ring as Neo went for a tag to John Wick. And Red Ranger now has got a chance. Belly to belly slam. As this could be the turnaround that the Rangers have needed. Well, the tenacity has been clearly demonstrated. And now, wait a second. And now a tope atomico. As down goes John Wick. Neo now getting in the ring. Probably trying to stop whatever is going to happen with the Red Ranger, but we know the momentum the Red Ranger can carry, and quickly tags back in the Blue Ranger, which I do not understand at all. But maybe they have a plan? I don't know. And a low blow from John Wick as the Blue Ranger. Neo coming back to his corner, and a big DDT, and we've seen DDTs win matchups before. But is it going to be enough to put John Wick away? John Wick is in the right corner for the Rangers, but it might not do, as the Rangers now, and now John Wick is busted open after a huge kick to the skull. And that kick might have been enough to do it. The cover in the center of the ring, Neo's right there, but he's not getting to him. And 3! The Rangers somehow pulled this off as Neo somehow there must have been a glitch in the Matrix for a second, and the Red Ranger was able to cut him off at the pass before he was able to make the count broken up as the Rangers win against the Keanu Konnection again. Blue Ranger is bloody. What a matchup. Somehow the Rangers persevere, and you have to imagine that a #1 contenders match is heading their way. What a win from the Rangers. We'll be right back, and then it's Past Gen's turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a 4-man gauntlet match. Introducing first, hailing from Pickering, Canada, Chris Van Vliet.
Chris Van Vliet.
Well, just as Mil Mascaras was known as the Man of 1,000 Masks, Chris Van Vliet on the PGW channel, known as the Man of 1,000 Names, likes to change his name on a regular basis, maybe to keep law enforcement on their toes. No one knows quite why. I'm going to try and keep up to date with all of those name changes as this match goes on. Remember, the winner of this match will get a shot.
Chris
PGW
Van
World Title.
Vliet.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing the second participant. Hailing from the metaverse, Mark Zuckerberg. Well, Mark Zuckerberg has spent many years trying and learn about the ways of the human species. After all of those years of research, only one discovery this man has made, and that is that nobody wants to join him in the metaverse. The fact that I'm sure he thinks about every single night as he cries himself to sleep on his pillow. Hopefully a win for Zuckerberg here. Go some way to numb that pain. I'm sure it would. It's a 4-man gauntlet match. If Zuckerberg can beat Chris Van Vliet and 2 other opponents, could just be the man to go on and defeat Arthur Morgan. Become the new PGW World Champion.
Chris Van Vliet.
Mark Zuckerberg's only had 1 win on the channel before, and he's not going the right way about it there, trying the cheap shot on Chris Van Vliet, getting nailed with a beautiful Total World Slam as Van Vliet sends him into the corner and a super kick right to the jaw. May have lost a couple of teeth on that one. As Van Vliet trying to move, Zuckerberg managing to turn him around, takes him down with a snap there, and we'll be calling him Chris Van Vliet, but I'm just getting word in my earpiece, Chris Van Vliet's just changed his name. He's now known as Chris One Sheet, apparently because he doesn't like to waste toilet paper. Very sparingly he uses that. It has been reported at a beautiful rolling thunder by Chris One Sheet as he comes off the ropes again. Look at that beautiful moonsault right to the abdomen of Mark Zuckerberg. And One Sheet could be about to score the first elimination here, but look at that. Zuckerberg getting the shoulder up very defiantly there. But look at One Sheet really going to work on the CEO of Meta. Now tries to go on the top rope, but gets his ghoulies, his nether regions, his Uncle Joe's mint balls impaled on that ring post. And now Zuckerberg has just created an opening for himself, now trying a quick roll up, going behind with a sunset flip, but the referee calling for the break. Nice counter though by One Sheet. Zuckerberg trying to catch the foot, but beautiful enziguri. As now One Sheet going to the top again, looking to hit a big high-risk move, tries a diving sidekick. Zuckerberg getting out of the way and just takes One Sheet down, and getting word in the earpiece again. He's only gone and changed his name again. No longer will he be known as Chris One Sheet. He's changed his name now to Chris Von Erich. Of course, the youngest sibling of the Von Erich family. Maybe a homage, maybe a tribute, but nonetheless he's changed it again. As Von Erich now turns Zuckerberg around, takes him down with a snap there, beautiful move. As now Von Erich goes to the top rope, waits Zuckerberg to get to his feet, and this time nails the diving sidekick. Great move by the Canadian podcast host. And now look, well, trying to cover on Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg getting the shoulder up very quickly there, tries a spinning heel kick. Nice counter by Zuckerberg as he sends him into the corner. Perches Von Erich on the top rope, and a beautiful neck breaker. My God, what a thunderous move right from the top turnbuckle. And now Zuckerberg saying he's going to finish him off, and I'm just getting weird in my earpiece. He's changed his name again here, and he's gone back to the original name of Chris Van Vliet. He may not know what that name is here though. A trio of German suplexes by Mark Zuckerberg. A move created by a man perhaps less popular than Zuckerberg is, although that is debatable, as Zuckerberg now dropping him right in his head. The CEO of Meta with a beautiful move, pulling it out of the bag with a leg sunk the shoulders down, and Van Vliet's been eliminated. Another competitor to come out here.
Hey guys, Maven here. Hey guys, Maven here. Hey guys, Maven here.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the next participant.
Hey guys, Maven here.
Maven Huffman.
Hey guys, Maven here. Hey guys, Maven here. Hey guys, Maven here.
Well, the psychedelic experience has
guys,
just
Maven
invaded
here.
the CIW channel.
Hey
Not
guys,
quite as
Maven
psychedelic
here.
as it once was. We had a
Hey
lot of
guys,
complaints
Maven
about
here.
Maven's entrance. He's really had to tone it down.
Hey guys, Maven here. Hey guys, Maven here. Hey guys, Maven here.
A man who won the first series of Tough Enough. A man who spent several years as a WWE superstar, and a man that spends $500 a month on shampoo despite being completely bald. Yes guys, Maven is here. When you look at experience inside of that squared circle, you've got to believe Maven Huffman, the firm favourite over Mark Zuckerberg, and not just because his head seems to be twice the size of his opponent's. They say two heads are better than one. It looks like Maven's head is the size of two heads. But look at Zuckerberg with a cheap shot, and now, oh, a punch to Maven's guys. Really going to work now on the nether regions. The weakest part of a man's anatomy. A lot of ball abuse in this four-man gauntlet match here. Look at Maven though. Despite all the ball abuse, managing to slip out. Going behind Mark Zuckerberg and that enormous head. Nailing him. And now look at this. Hey guys, Maven's fist here. And Maven Huffman getting some ball-based revenge, the best kind of revenge in my opinion. That's Maven now with that beautiful drop kick, perhaps the best drop kick in the business. Mark Zuckerberg finding out exactly why people say that about this man, as Maven building up a head of steam now, goes to the top rope, tries to launch a high risk move, but more ball-based abuse being infiltrated in this match. As now Zuckerberg sends Maven for the ride off the ropes, tries a move but beautiful reversal. As now Maven going to the top rope, can he be more successful this time? Zuckerberg gets to his feet, nails a beautiful diving clothesline. And Maven's not done here, he's going up top again. Zuckerberg looks to be in a world of trouble, and a beautiful front drop kick. Maven Huffman on a bit of a roll at the moment. Mark Zuckerberg could be close to being finished off here. Well, maybe not. Tries the Irish whip. Zuckerberg with a reversal. And more abuse. More abuse to the testicles, as the doctors would call it. And now look at this. Picks him up and drops him on his head with that thunderous move again. I believe he calls that move the meta driver. Dirty means here. But it has worked. Zuckerberg defeats two opponents, only one man left to enter this match.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the final participant. He hails from Tampa Bay, Florida, and weighs in tonight at 165 pounds, moist, Critikal.
Oh, it is moist Critikal, but look closely, that is not a white t-shirt that man is wearing. You all know what they say about this man. When he wears white you might be alright, but when he wears black you best step back. And that may be the best course of action here for Mark Zuckerberg. We all know that when moist Critikal wears the black shirt of doom, seemingly an unstoppable force. I believe he's never lost a match whilst wearing that black shirt. Tear a man's windpipe out with just one finger. A deadly, dangerous machine he is, whilst brandishing that black shirt. The question is, can Mark Zuckerberg do anything to prevent his fate here? Two pretty good wins he's had, defeating a former WWE superstar. There's a two-man lock up now, but look at Moist winning out in that. And Moist seems ready for this match as Zuckerberg gets up to his feet, nails him with a beautiful forearm to the face. Zuckerberg seems to be really struggling. It may be fatigue, or it may just be fear of what this man is capable of when brandishing that black shirt. As now Moist now going to the top turnbuckle, pointing the finger at Zuckerberg. Nails a beautiful diving sidekick. Zuckerberg in real trouble now, and now Moist going for that reverse twist of fate. The same move he used on EDP 445, the same move he used to defeat Chris Chan, and now the leg hook, the shoulders down, and yes, Moist Critikal has done it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Moist Critikal.
Well, it was a good run for Zuckerberg, take nothing away from him. But in the end, the power of the black shirt just too much to contend with. Ladies and gentlemen, when you appear on somebody else's channel, you've got to get your cheap plugs in. That's exactly what we're going to do here, because at some point next week on the Past Gen Gaming channel, it will be Arthur Morgan defending the PGW World Championship against the man you've just seen victorious there, Moist Critikal. Will he be wearing the black shirt? That question and more will be answered.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are here with our main event, the #1 contenders match for Majin Buu's CIW Championship at Massacre on Day 3 up in May. It is Liu Kang, the winner of the Battalion Brawl and the current TAW World's Champion, going up against Bully Maguire, the former CIW Heavyweight Champion. And with me to join me in this main event is the one and only
JOSHAGEDDON. Oh, that was my cue.
That was your cue.
Hi.
And I didn't mean to elbow you in the gut so hard, but here comes Elder God Liu Kang. I hate to have you introduced right as this is coming out.
Yeah.
But
for whatever reason, my world champion, who's like, I'm also going to sneakily behind your back sign a contract with CIW without telling you. That would have been nice to know.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
That's not the way he rolls, as you know as well as I do. That's just not the way he rolls.
No, not at all. He gets off on pissing people off.
Well, and this man showed up at the WrestleBration 12 Drummers Call, the Battalion Brawl. He entered 7th and won it. And that is what earned him this opportunity. And here comes Bully Maguire, who everybody loves. It's almost like a world of, like, they're two polar opposite people. When you look at Liu Kang right now and Bully Maguire, who finally got the feud with Freddy Krueger behind him at the WrestleBration, is now moving on to bigger and better things. Unfortunately, did not come up victorious in his a plea at Battle City 1 in advancing in the Millennium Championship Tournament, but still has a chance at Championship Glory, something he has not held for a very long time, but it's not really his fault that that's the case. Can he get a victory here over Liu Kang?
All I've got to say is, you know, it's something when me, the owner of TAW, is calling a match with the TAW champion on CIW, and I'm rooting for the CIW guy.
Well, because we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on the Super Show, how difficult it would be to swallow the pill of having Liu Kang as a double champion.
Yeah, it would be cool to have a double champion.
Not him.
Both of us.
And a heel kick to start. And here's your main event, and he's actively fighting for the chance here tonight as the winner faces Majin Buu at Massacre.
As soon as the bell sounded, Liu Kang was like, all right, business mode.
I mean, barely the bell had rung. And that was the case, as on May the 24th, is the third day of Massacre. That's when the main event will be. That's when Majin Buu, the champ, will be waiting in a nice Tobey Atomico. As the big...
look at this. I'll do it. Maestro Cradle. I got you, Sean. I got you.
And only two. As I said it, I got you. I didn't do it incorrectly this time. And a low blow message sent. And it's unsurprising that Liu Kang would immediately go to the dirty tactics the second they're availed to him.
Yeah, why are you like, just what happened to you?
Well, but keep in mind that Liu Kang, when he cost Sephiroth at the Fallout, he cost Sephiroth the chance to regain the CIW Heavyweight Championship against Majin Buu. Liu Kang vaulted Majin Buu out of the ring. They have no love lost for each other at all.
No, they do not. Not at all.
So it's not like Liu Kang wouldn't love the opportunity. Even though he's an asshole himself, he would love the opportunity to take something away from Majin Buu, without a doubt. And an elbow drop connecting. And no! Referee Jerry Jones is down. And an elbow again.
Oh, wow. Got a little too close to the action, I guess.
Sure did. And a third elbow drop. And folks, there's only one way to make sure that the 82-plus-year-old Jerry Jones is okay after these matchups. How do they do it, JOSHAGEDDON? Low blow, message sent.
Damn it. No, I'm trying to send a message, Liu Kang. You stop that. That's rude. You got to like, you got to share, you got to comment, you got to subscribe to hashtag Save a Referee today and hashtag Save an Announce Table today.
That's right, and this is your main event of Equinox. It's been a crazy night so far. We saw the Rangers beat the Keanu Konnection. We saw Scorpion get the win over Rain, that huge PGW match that we just saw a couple of minutes ago. And now, this matchup here tonight to determine the #1 contender, as Majin Buu obviously anxiously awaiting, as I'm sure the entire New Buu crew is, as now just slamming the head. This isn't our announce table, but Bully's getting some cranial carnage dealt to him right here.
But finally able to, the referee's up to a 7. They need to be very cautious of the referee's count.
Yeah, and Liu Kang got posted.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
More of that, please.
Yeah, Liu Kang, and that might have cost him as the big leg whip.
Like right into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, and knocking every turnbuckle on the way down. As Bully Maguire, he is so tactical, but he is also infuriated, which has led to a very lethal combination for the former CIW champion.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen Bully Maguire this pissed off.
Yeah, having lost the championship and not be able to regain it because of Freddy Krueger, spending 8 months dealing with that. And now has finally got the opportunity to regain that championship opportunity, and it's against this guy.
Yeah.
You know, that's got to piss Bully off, too. It's like, I thought I wouldn't have to deal with this here.
Literally one of the scummiest people in CIW wrestling. That was very slick. That was very slick.
Big DDT from Bully.
Nice done.
Bully Maguire beat Kratos with a DDT.
I remember that. Bully Maguire is definitely one of the more seasoned veterans here in CIW wrestling.
That's right, and all of these elbows have all been on the mark. I remember a time when Bully would just be diving off the ropes frantically with no purpose. It's amazing the growth that Bully Maguire has had in the time he's had in CIW.
But he ran right into that sleeper slam by Luke Kang
and
there.
Now into the cover. 1, 2, and only 2.
Ooh.
And that was very close. And folks,
I don't want the possibility of Liu Kang being a double champion. Just that gives me gastrointestinal distress.
Well, and the question is, are we going to see Bruce Lee? We have not seen Bruce Lee since the WrestleBration where Captain Planet tried to get him on the rehab program, but we haven't seen Bruce at all in CIW. We don't know if it worked. We don't know if it didn't. Will he be here tonight to help Liu Kang? I don't know.
Oh, wait,
what's this? And now, what a slingshot drop kick.
Oh, man. And did you see Spider-Man bounce off the apron?
Now, come on, Lou.
Why?
For what reason do you have to chop an elderly old man?
That was such a dick move.
I don't care if you root for the Giants. That's not necessary. Oh, that's why. That's why. Steel chair shots. Referee is down. Hashtag save a referee.
It pains me that
fatality kick.
It pains me that this guy has the TAW World Championship. Agony,
for
pure
almost
agony.
2.5 years now.
Yep.
He has had that belt. It is insane how much of a death grip he's had now. Okay, now come on now, Lou. There's no need to do this. A nice counter there from Bully.
Ooh.
But
didn't
Bully's got to be hurting.
But I still had to hurt bouncing back first off that table.
Yeah, it sure did. Oh, wait a second. This could do it, though. DDT through the table.
Oh, wow.
And through the table as Bully trying to get back in. Now, keep in mind, a countout will, in fact, get a victory for Bully if he gets in the ring. It is whoever wins it. Oh, Luke barely gets back in.
Damn it. And man, look at them. They're both woozy.
Well, they sure are. I mean, that's... You go through a table, offense or defense, and that's going to take something out of you. And a ninja special here from Liu Kang. And now exploiting referee Jerry Jones's count.
And just ignoring him. I mean, he already chopped the crap out of him earlier.
And he has up to 5. But Liu Kang, he has no interest in rules or regulations. I mean, it's all about conquering and domination and all of this. The vanity that has led him to such success in TAW, and what I fear is going to become a serious problem in CIW if Bully is unsuccessful tonight.
I mean, if Liu Kang wants to continue his domination path, he needs to avoid those sickening DDTs.
Yeah, as Bully, he's hit quite a few of them. And oh, wait a second. Now, Liu Kang delivering one himself.
He's like, I can do a DDT as well, Bully Maguire.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
And then Bully, he is fighting. I mean, he is one of the most resilient wrestlers in CIW here in your main event of Equinox. And now that abdominal stretch we have seen from him a number of times. And
oldie but a goldie. It's very effective.
And it is an incredibly effective move by Bully Maguire, who held the CIW Heavyweight Championship for an impressive amount of time. When he held the belt, it was 497 days Bully Maguire held on to the CIW Heavyweight Championship.
And another low blow, and the referee's just trying to give Liu Kang the business, but I would be careful about that, because Liu Kang literally chopped the shit out of you.
Yeah, he's already struck you twice. I mean, what's to stop him a third time? And Bully...
The first time was an accident. That was just the referee being too close.
But another DDT, as both of these guys are just landing headshot after headshot. And it's taken their toll, Joshageddon. You could tell, both men, and another low blow.
Well, that's another headshot if you want to get technical.
But that's only if you're being real exact about it. But Bully Maguire, and a nice leg whip, leg trip there. Sweep the leg by Bully Maguire.
I think Liu Kang was trying to go for another nut shot, but Bully was able to counter it, and they tried to go for it again, and again another one countered.
And
getting a little too comfortable with those nut shots, Liu Kang. Wait a second.
I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. I think Bully might have changed his trajectory midway and then ended up with nothing. But gonna make another attempt here, whatever that was, and an elbow drop swatted this time from Liu Kang.
That was a bad landing right there.
One too many times for Bully Maguire. And a Bellini! Yeah. Bellini! This could be a come on, Bully! The regenerative ability of Bully Maguire coming in at the 9th hour. Come on, bring him to the center of the ring. Cover him, Bully. And a low blow took too long.
Son of a bitch.
And that could have been Bully Maguire's last shot. As Liu Kang back up, weathering a Bellini. And over the top rope goes Bully. And Lou, why? Why? Over the top rope. And now what? Now what, Lou? Come on.
Really?
What are you gonna Sephiroth! Sephiroth! Where the hell did he come from?
What am I talking about?
There we go! Sephiroth. These two have been at each other's throats for the better part of 2 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they might be one of the main events.
Aerith Killer, and he's got him at Sephiroth, hitting the skids right as Jerry Jones is coming to.
And the timing of that.
And now Bully Maguire getting back into the ring. I don't even know.
You got to take advantage of that.
Come on, Bully. Come on, Bully. I don't even think Bully knows that Sephiroth was here. Sephiroth must have come through the crowd. The cover from Bully for the #1 contender. 1, 2, 3, he did it!
Yes.
Bully Maguire is your #1 contender. Eat shit, Liu Kang. Pardon my French.
Second, third, and fourth, and fifth that motion, ladies and gentlemen.
It may not be appropriate for the lead commentator to say, but after everything Liu Kang has done, Sephiroth screwing over Liu Kang is just desserts, and they're oh so sweet. Montin Boo has got a date with Bully Maguire at Massacre. But thank you all for coming to Equinox, our spring special. Happy spring. We'll see you next week for Battle City 3. Take care, everybody.